Hello, everybody. Hey. We'll give everybody a second. I know it takes a while for the stream to come through. If you're on LinkedIn, or if you're on Facebook, sending you so much love and light. Welcome to Making Space. I'm Latoya, your spiritual inner power coach, really truly helping you get back to your authentic core self. After whatever drama you've been through, helping you love yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself, know yourself, go deeper so that you can go higher and be your best self because you deserve it and you're worthy of it. I am Master Reiki practitioner and Master EFT tapping practitioner. So all those things combined, getting you to feel and be in your best self. And I am so very happy to be here with my co-host,
Marissa. Yes, my name is Marissa. I'm a free, courageous, authentic woman, and I ignite the fire within Black women across the globe to embody their most spicy, sensual, and sacred lives. And I do that through the power of breath work, retreats, and workshops, and different things like that. But I really just support Black women with removing those blockages that we have created or they have been placed on us throughout from society or from whatever happens in our lives, any traumas and different things that we have experienced. Help us regulate our nervous system, calm our anxiety and other things that may be disrupting our get to the root of the things that may be disrupting our lives, our relationships with others and ourselves through the power of breath work. So I'm excited to be here, and let's get it started.
Let's get it started. Today, our topic, y'all, is so needed. It has passed through my purview from coaches that I've had, from clients that I've had, from friends, from just different people. So we're talking about this month, the whole theme has been being in your divine feminine. And today we're talking about when they are insecure, when you are in success, right? And how do we maneuver and handle and show up in that. And so I'm super excited about it. I was talking to Marissa before we came on, and I was like, "Ooh!" When I said it, this whole energy came in like, "Woo!" Like this is the one today.
Yes.
But I love that. Before we get started, Marissa pulls a card for us, y'all. So what has she pulled for us?
Yes. So I pulled a card from my African Goddess Rising deck. Shout out to Abiola Abrams because we love her. And I actually didn't pull it. It fell. So I was just like, hey, this is the one.
Yes.
It is the card Mama Jumbo, or what we would know as Mumbo Jumbo, the goddess of shine. And I'll just show you. She has, this is really hard to see, but she's like a tree, grounded, right? And she has these really beautiful cowrie shells along her crown and along her neck. And it says, Goddess Mama Jumbo glitters as guardian of the lush green forest of Guinea-Bissau. If her name sounds familiar, it is because Mama Jumbo's name was misconstrued by colonizers and replaced the term mumbo jumbo, meaning gibberish. But she still shines. And the guidance says, you were born to shine. Be seen, be heard, be a movement. We need to know your name. We want to learn your dance. And it says, fear of shining brightly keeps you in the shadows, hiding and shrinking. There is no way to claim your voice and avoid rejection, criticism, and judgment, but you are not for everybody. If everyone likes you, you are not really being you. And the declaration, I am ready to be seen and heard.
Okay, so everybody, can we just declare that today? I gotta, hold on. I'm gonna drop it in the chat in my Facebook group. Say that
Yeah.
last part again. What's the declaration?
I am ready to be seen and heard.
I'm dropping that right now.
Yes, be seen, be heard, be a movement, it says.
Be a
Okay.
movement.
Mm-hmm.
Be seen, be heard, be a movement. Oh, you know what? Foolish thing. Okay. Autocorrect. Okay. I am ready to be seen and be heard and be a movement.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to declare it again. I am ready to be seen and be heard and be a movement. I
Mm-hmm.
want everybody who's watching you, watching on hashtag replay, like really say that in your spirit. You are deserving and you are worthy
Mm-hmm.
to be seen and to be heard. And it really doesn't matter what your purpose is, you being in your power and leaving your legacy and breaking, chains and cycles,
Mm-hmm.
you are a movement.
Yep. Yep.
You are a
Yep.
movement. All within your own queendom, all within your own self. You are a movement.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is so powerful.
And when also, I just wanted to add, when you are being seen and being heard, and sometimes you may be stumbling over the words or trying to figure out what exactly to say, because I can tell you I do it all the time. Okay.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
there's like ums or whatever that comes out, but I'm still talking. Y'all still gonna hear me. Okay.
Right. Because the movement is not in perfectionism. The movement is in your energy, it's in your intention, and it's in
Yep.
your power, right?
Right.
That's what the movement is. So,
Yeah.
absolutely, with all the ums and the ahs and all the whatever, the stuttering, the repeating, all
Yep.
of that,
Yep. Yep.
all of that. That's so good. That's so good. I wanted to share something, and this may be in connection, but everybody, I'm going to share this, but I am going to do a live on it next week. But I had a full chart reading. Shout out to Lauren Wild.
Mm.
And I sure did. And let me just say this, I didn't like what was read.
It'd be like that sometimes. Yes.
It be like that sometimes. And that's actually why I'm sharing it, right? Because sometimes
Mm.
we're in a period or in a state of being, of healing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of transforming, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily feel good or look good,
Come on with
right?
it. Mm-hmm.
It's some people say it this way, right? Everybody wants to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to. Don't nobody want to do the. Nobody want to die, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and and so yeah, I want all the things. I want to be able to manifest. I want to leave my legacy. I want to shine, right? Like
Yeah.
Mama Jumbo. I want to, but there's some healing that must take place.
Mm-hmm.
There's some clearing that must take place.
Mm-hmm.
There's some releasing, a deeper level
Mm-hmm.
of releasing that must take place. And the planets apparently are aligning for that to take place. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much? Like,
I just said this week. Oh my God. Go ahead. Yes. We stay alive, but
another
go ahead.
damn level. Like,
Yeah.
and I just want to encourage people today that you might be in that space. You might be like, feeling like I done did, whatever. And but you feel a little something in you, like maybe I need to contact Marissa to do some breath work. Maybe I need to contact Latoya to get a Reiki session. There's something there. There's something more that needs to be cleared. There's
Yeah.
something more that needs to be moved. And I just want to encourage you, like, that is truly what this life is about. This life is about elevating,
Mm-hmm.
right? And true to the word, elevating is rising.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that we are able and willing to shed and let go, and unhook from us,
Mm-hmm.
is the faster and the easier that we get to rise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I want to acknowledge you really quick for sharing this, because just because
mhm,
we are on here talking about the things that we talk about, or the things that we do, like Reiki and breathwork and EFT, and making space in other ways, don't mean that we ain't in the middle of the work as well. Okay. And we don't have any elevation to do as well. Like, just because we're out here doing the work that we do, we're doing it so that we can share.
so that we can share.
Yeah.
And it's vulnerable, right? It's vulnerable. It
Yeah.
feels sometimes exposing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. I think there's a part of that, right? Our parts, our egos, but there's also a part where that was projected onto us. There's also the
Mhm.
part where, you know, um, the collective conscious said to you, you can't show yourself. You can't
Yeah.
show your vulnerable side. You can't show your quote unquote weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in authority or leadership or, um, teaching or whatever it is,
Hmm.
that you're not allowed.
Yeah.
You're not allowed,
Yeah.
right? And I'm
That's
going
a
to
lot.
say this collectively,
Yeah.
we give ourselves permission.
Yeah.
Yeah? We
Absolutely.
give ourselves permission
Yeah.
to be our most authentic selves, to show up, to be vulnerable, to expose so that we can heal and that we can be a part of the collective healing.
Yeah. I agree. I think my superpower is being transparent and sharing who I am,
Mm-hmm,
where I am, how I'm feeling, kind of thing, right?
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
and not in a space that makes me weak or anything like that, but I realize I get the best response from people, or have the biggest impact, when I am sharing who I am, or
yeah,
what is happening right now, and not from a place of wanting to get sympathy or whatever. I mean,
mm-hmm,
if it comes, I welcome people to want to take care of me and support me, because I'm into that as well. But not from a place that I'm looking for anyone to do anything about it necessarily. It is, I'm just telling my story about what I'm feeling right now, and what's
yeah,
processing, and
yeah.
how we get to move through it, or how I might be moving through it. But I got the same message, like, it is a time for change for me, and I was like, again. I am so tired today. I didn't even get in the shower until like 2 o'clock, because I was just like, girl, we have to lay down. Lay down. We have been transformed, but we have been having those, like, as you do the work, right? The answers, or the understanding and the processing happens so quickly. Like,
Yeah,
within minutes sometimes, or seconds, it's like, oh my God, I'm tired. This is a lot.
it's a
Um,
lot.
but
It's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
And and I want to say this too, that a lot of times this comes and you feel it and you feel this is a lot and you feel the heaviness, right? You
yeah,
feel it energetically and you feel like, wow, okay, I gotta sit down somewhere, I gotta process, I gotta,
yeah,
right? But then that other part of us, the projected part of us, the indoctrinated part of us,
yeah,
feels like, oh no, we gotta get this done. We gotta push through. We gotta make, we gotta make it happen. We gotta, right?
yeah.
And we almost like bulldoze right over the magic of the transformation that's happening.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I've finally gotten to the point where the bulldozing, my body said, girl, no, I can't do it.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
can't, I can't, I
Be
can try, but
you,
she's like, sit down, or
and
I'm gonna sit.
I think because like you said, the more you're doing the work, the more attuned you are with your body, the more attuned you are to those messages,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The more willing you are to flow with them.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna say there wasn't a voice in the back of my head like, girl, you need to get up. You need to get up, take a shower, get outside, and do that. And I was like, I don't want to. I'm tired.
I was in the same energy. Like I said, my body, my spirit was like, you need to just go sit down. And I was like, okay. And I went to go sit down and grab my laptop and put it on my lap, right? And to do what exactly? Because to do what? just stare at it basically because my spirit was telling my brain no. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm feeling you now. And so on that note, let's
Mhm.
get into the topic. If you're ready, you ready,
Yeah.
Kisha?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. So when they're insecure with your success,
Mm-hmm.
when you are elevating
Mm-hmm.
and you are, I mean, that divine feminine is moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's your season. And you're whatever that your career is moving or your business is like coming into alignment. um you know
You are coming in tune with who you really are, and
you
it feels good.
ooh,
And you
if
switch up how you walk and how you talk and how you dress.
you're
Yeah.
speaking your truth, you're
Yeah.
speaking your
Yeah. Yeah.
power, right?
Yeah.
All the things, right? And now your partner has questions.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Mm-hmm.
going on?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really need to spend that much?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to get ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should slow down,
Mm-hmm.
like all these kinds of things. And sometimes, Marissa, sometimes it's not necessarily that they're saying things that are hurtful, but you feel it energetically.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. Yes.
It's not what they're saying, it's the energy behind it. And you
Yeah.
feel that they're feeling some kind of way
Mm-hmm.
about your elevation.
Yeah. Yeah. I've experienced this a lot in my romantic relationships, partly because of the partners that I realized that I've called in.
Mm.
But that's another part. Right?
Maybe that's next week, but okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
That's another part. But what I have noticed, it can be really subtle, and it may not be intentional, right?
And it may
But
not be intentional. That's good.
yeah, but the
Hmm, hmm.
subtleties um are kind of like, are you like questioning? Are you sure? You sure you could do that? Because XYZ is happening over here, and they said, like, the rules say XYZ, and I'm like, I don't care about that. I know this feels good in my spirit, so I'm just gonna move forward. Or, you sure you want to wear that? Because there's gonna be kids around. And I'm like, okay, I was wearing that before we met each other. I was wearing that when I met you. Like, what's up? It'll be really small little things, and and at first, um, it can just be like, that's interesting. And then over time, sometimes it actually has seeped into my own brain, so I start to question myself.
Right. Oh,
Like,
yes.
should I be doing this? Should I be
Oh,
wearing this?
yes.
Be going here, kind of thing.
Should I make
Um,
this move?
should
Maybe,
I make this? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And in my experience, it has taken, unfortunately, me separating from that relationship to realize what was really going on, right?
Hmm, hmm.
I am a recovering people pleaser. Okay, my name is Marissa, and I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Welcome to the group. Welcome to the group.
So a lot of the times, I would just kind of conform and shrink, and be like, you know what? If that's what they're questioning, maybe they're right.
Mm,
maybe
mm.
maybe I shouldn't be moving in this manner. That has been a past version of myself, until I realized, girl, every time you end the relationship and be out here just moving, you soar to the next level. So you moving in the way that feels the most natural to you, is always you're always going to win, if you're with someone or not, right? If you But having that support is really, really, key, really important to your success, if you are going to be aligned with someone
Okay.
romantically. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about that because I think when we are in our divine feminine, when we're in that power and we're moving, we're flowing with that energy, we know that,
Yeah.
right? We know that
Yeah.
support is key. That balancing of feminine masculine energy, or and that's not
Mm.
necessarily in physical form, but the
Right.
energy, right, is important. We know that, and because of that, right,
Mhm.
sometimes we let the people pleasing come in and compromise,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and we let the people pleasing come in, not only compromise but distort our definition of alignment, right,
Yeah.
our definition of support, right,
Hmm.
and um and we start to, I'm just going to use this word for lack of a better one, like we start to cover for them, we start to justify for them,
Hmm.
and and I would even add to what you said, right, we start, when we start to question ourselves
Yeah.
as to like, well, whether should I be doing this,
Yeah.
is this too fast, is this whatever, then we start to question, not only should I be doing this because is it really good for me? Is it really right? We start to question, should I be doing this for the sake of the relationship?
Hmm.
And that's where I think we start coming on dangerous grounds, I think, right?
Hmm.
This is a good move for me, or this is going really well, but I don't want to damage the relationship. I don't want to make this person feel a certain kind of way. I don't like the way he's or she is feeling right now. So maybe I need to, like that card said, I need to dim my light
You
so that
need to shrink a little
we
bit. Yeah.
are in
Yeah.
alignment.
Girl, I just reposted this man. I wish I could remember his name, but I posted it on my Instagram. He was like, when you pour into your woman, it activates her superpowers. She is able to
Mhm.
move and flow and hear what is going on and see what you may be missing because you are pouring into her, right? And
Yes.
it's just like, yeah, if you have that partner who is dedicated, for lack of better words, not saying they don't do nothing else for themselves, right? But
Right.
dedicated to pouring into you, you open up like a flower, right? You can move and flow in the way that feels aligned with you, and you can see what he or she or they may not be able to see because you are being poured into, right? And
Right.
you are flowing in your divine feminine.
And your divine
So
feminine, you're coming
yeah.
into like the fullness of yourself.
Yeah, it's like a plant. Like nature tells us exactly what we need to do. Pour into the ground, pour into fertile ground, and it will bring forth fruits. It will bear fruit, flowers, plants, life. All you got
Right.
to do is
Life.
water it.
Right.
Yeah,
So, going with that analogy, if you're not being watered,
girl, dead.
dead. And what she said
It's
that,
dry out
and
here. Yeah, yeah.
dry. And what I think going with this, I love analogies. So going with this analogy, right? What happens to us a lot of times, we realize, shoot, we're not being watered, but we like this person.
Oof.
So let me try to water myself and just get water from all the places that I can so that I can
Mhm,
still keep this person around me and in my purview, right?
mhm.
Which, nothing wrong with watering yourself, vital. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with spreading your sources of getting water,
Hmm.
vital. But it is important to be watered from your partner.
Yeah, and let's stay with it because I love it. I love
Yes.
plants. I love all of that kind of stuff. I have noticed specifically my monstera, like you'll get smaller um leaves if you're in a pot that doesn't allow
Well,
for space, right?
well,
You get
well,
larger leaves if you repot it and put it in a better environment and continue to water it and and nurture it in this environment that is better for it. It will still grow because, like you said, we're looking to water ourselves, getting
right.
resources and different things from other places. But the fruit that we bear may be a little smaller than
Okay.
what we could
So,
possibly create or bring forth if we had the proper nurturing.
so what I'm hearing is you would not be at your full potential.
Yeah, shrink. Yeah, no.
And and here's what I really want people to hear. If that person is not interested
Come on.
in you being at your full potential,
Hmm.
if they're okay
Mhm.
with your leaves being smaller and your
Mhm.
fruit being smaller and not as sweet and not
Mhm.
as, as ripe, they're okay with keeping you there
Mhm.
for the sake of their own happiness or peace or feel goodness, then
They might not be the one for you, baby girl.
they might not be the one for you. That may not be the alignment that you're looking for. And I would venture to say this person is not in their fullness, right? They're not secure in their own power, in their own energy, in
Yeah.
their own fulfillment, right? Because when I'm secure and I'm feeling good about who I am, what my purpose is, where I'm going, and I'm in the fullness of that, I want you to thrive.
Yeah.
Let's thrive together, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the energy we want to be in. Let's thrive together. Let's do this. Let's move. Oh, you making more money? Bet, like,
That means more
right,
money for everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
right. That means we
Yeah.
can fly first class, babe, right?
Girl. Yeah.
And so instead of trying to squeeze me or keep me small so that you can feel good, that's not an energy that
Yeah.
any of us thrive in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? And additional to that, like to be able to step more into your power, if you see these things happening, right? Because
Mhm.
sometimes, like I said, it is subtle, and sometimes you're like, what is going on? But if you see these things happening, the biggest thing I think we can do is have a conversation with people and
Mhm.
clear make space for a conversation. One, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
because it is difficult, it can be challenging to see someone changing around you and you may not be ready to change,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So like I said, it may not be an intentional shrink, like, doubting you or wanting you to shrink or be smaller or what have you. They just may not be ready to elevate either, or they may not be ready for your elevation and what that means for them. So taking it back to the conversation we had, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, is sometimes what is important to me may not be important to someone else, right?
Right.
But that's okay. I'm still going to allow them the space to keep thriving and elevating and different things like that. But when there is a partner who is like inciting these doubts or confusion or
Mhm.
what have you, they may not just be, it may not be important to them how big you are becoming or how, this transformation that you're going through. And if the relationship is where it needs to be, you can have a conversation like, hey, I know that I'm changing. I know that things are moving different. I'm
Mhm.
moving differently.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm trying to
Mhm.
catch myself as well because I mean I don't really know. I'm kind of uncertain around what's happening, right? And how I'm developing, but I know it feels good and I want to keep going in this direction. Can you support me?
Right. Right.
Can you
I
walk
want to
along?
say,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to Aya. Hi, Aya. She's there watching. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love what you're saying, and because I know you're all about the conversation. I
Oh,
know, and it's powerful, right? It's
yeah.
powerful to be able when you're in your divine feminine and you're in your fullness and you're in that healing elevating energy, that
Yeah.
you're open and willing to have that conversation, not out of resentment and I'm about to show, like
Mm,
not that, but out of
I'm
out of the fullness of who you are, the blooming of what's happening to you,
yeah.
and wanting that for that other person and wanting that for the relationship,
Yeah.
right? But also recognizing, like exactly like you said, they may not be ready,
Yeah.
and being okay with that,
Yeah.
right? They may not be ready, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad or they're evil. Now there could be some abuse happening there,
Yeah.
but being available to the fact that they're just not there,
Yeah.
and it's okay to accept that they are where they are,
Yeah.
and that you are where you are,
Yep.
right?
And you keep moving forward.
And you keep moving forward, you keep shining, you keep
Yeah,
glowing, you keep elevating.
it's the same example I use every time. Harriet Tubman was not like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay here because y'all not ready to go. He said,
Right.
I'm going to blaze a path, right? We're gonna see what freedom looks like. We're gonna taste it. We're gonna set up some stuff, and I'm gonna come back. And if y'all ready to roll when I'm ready to go, I'm I'm all for it. Come along with me. Let's ride, right? And if you're
Exactly.
not, I'll take somebody else, or I'm gonna go by myself. But I'm going back, right? So it is like, don't be afraid to go to keep moving forward alone. But if
Hmm.
you are in a relationship and you are in a loving relationship, an open one, like at least put the effort forward to have the conversation around,
Hmm.
like, look, I am growing and I'm excited about it, and I want you to be excited for me as well. I don't know what it may look like, but I want to take this trip with you. Like, are you down to ride with me? And like, yeah, put it back in somebody else's court. See what they where they are, what they're seeing.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? If you're not ready, like, what does that look like for us?
What
Can
does
we
that
still
look like for
move
us?
forward?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm not going to stop shining and I'm not going to stay stagnant. Right.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
also let me say this, and I'm gonna say two things real quick.
Yeah.
The other thing is when we're talking about they may not be ready, there may be a level of healing, right, that needs to happen. They may need to heal. And I'll share this when very, very early on, were we married yet? I think we were still dating. I think we may have been engaged. And I was that person. I was feeling insecure about, like, he was singing. Um,
Oh yes, he
he
be
had
singing.
a my husband. Yeah, he sings. That was one of the things on my list. He had to be a musician of some sort. He sings and he plays the guitar and he started to play the piano. And I was feeling some kind of way about this
Hmm.
because it was attracting and drawing, attention that I didn't want.
Hmm.
And so I started like nitpicking. I started being naggy. I started like, but it was negative energy that I was bringing. I was projecting, and I needed to heal. I was insecure
Mm.
about my purpose. I was still insecure about my purpose, right? And the magic that I bring to the world. So I say this not from a higher place or like from I say this that your partner who may not be ready for this elevation and this growth probably needs a depth of healing. And that could be part of the conversation. That could be part of the question, right? Like,
Hmm.
what are you truly feeling at this time? And what might need some healing, right?
Hmm.
Like what might need some healing. And that level of vulnerability and depth is gold. It's amazing. It's
Hmm.
magic.
Hmm. How do you heal alongside someone who is elevating like that? Like, how does that work?
I will say that's a good question.
Yeah.
Um, it really is about getting to a deeper level of being okay with who you are,
Hmm.
right? Finding your identity. And when I say that, I mean that could mean going back to finding your core self and who you are, but it could also mean, which part of this was for me too, the level of trauma and hurt that I experienced, there was some recreation that needed to happen. I needed to recreate
Mm.
an identity. I needed it. And the second thing was I needed to find my gift and my purpose, right? Like really like hone in, what is it? What is it that I do well, that I love doing, and that it is my service to people? What is my purpose? And oh man, I gotta say the side note real quick, Larissa,
You don't have to be quick
that
with it.
for a lot of people it's also traumatic feeling like they have to find this purpose, right?
Mhm.
Like it was encoded or imprinted in your DNA, and especially if you come from a Christian denomination, like you're taking these purpose quizzes and these surveys, right, and these assessments, and it's like you need for this assessment to tell you that you're a teacher, you're administrator, or whatever have you. And let
Mhm.
me just say this: your true fire purpose within you, it may not be, it could be, but it's probably not going to be on some survey that was pre-printed
Yeah.
and carbon copied for you, right? That has like this box that you're one of these 5 or there's one of these 12, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, you are an expansive being.
Yes.
You are an expansive being. I believe that. You are a multidimensional being, right? And your gift is most likely your gifting, your purpose, your calling, your fire is not on this paper, right? I was a chaplain. I was a pastor for whatever, 15 years, right? And um, there was no breath worker on any of those surveys, okay? I didn't administer many of them, okay? It was no breath worker on there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so this is what I'm saying. Like, we are expansive, and
Yeah.
your purpose, your fire, your mission, your goal for you example, elevating Black women to be their juiciest, sexiest self, right? Like, I promise you that's not in a survey somewhere. You know, that's that's going within you and
Yeah.
learning and experiencing
Yeah.
and being available to something new and exciting and resonating. So that level of healing, and like you said, having that conversation and having that person who's also elevating support you in your elevation, right?
Yeah.
Support you in your healing process, support you in finding and recreating. That's how you do it,
Yeah.
really. That's
Yeah.
really how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's if it also sounds like getting out of your own way and understanding, okay, well, I may not be on this level with him or her, right? But I'm on a level that I get to figure out how to move forward, because I want that for myself. It is
Yeah.
not like what I want in comparison to like I'm trying to get to their level. It is in for myself. I do
Yeah.
want to get through, past, over, whatever word you want to use, this space that I'm in, right? Because it doesn't
Right.
feel good to me.
Right.
And it
Right.
is it's about worrying about yourself
Yeah.
in a relationship.
Yeah. When I used to do premarital counseling and marriage counseling, there was a system that we used. It was called PrEP. And I remember my instructor, when I was going through the training, he used this phrase, and I have used it ever since. Every single time I talk to a couple, I use this phrase. A better me is a better we,
True story.
right? A better me is a better we.
Hmm.
And so when you focus on becoming a better me, it's not selfish.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just hear. Like, I need somebody to hear that today because
Say it
somebody
again,
is feeling
child.
that way.
Yes, a better me is a better we. I love that.
Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It
Hmm.
is yourself that you are bringing into the relationship,
Yeah.
right? It is yourself. So focusing on you is, in fact, focusing on the relationship,
Hmm.
right? A
Hmm.
better me is a better we. And when we both understand that, then you are most definitely invested in a better me because it's going to make for a better we.
Yes. Mm-mm-mm. I'm definitely posting that after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And I want to share one more thing. This came up, one of my I'm just gonna say somebody I used to work with in a while. For a long time ago, contacted me, and this phrase came up, and I'm gonna say this because you and I are both um, colleagues from the school of people pleasing,
mhm,
right?
mhm, 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 mhm.
When we are saying that, this person may need to go through their own level of healing before they can release that insecurity and really truly like be happy for you, right? In your elevation. We must know that although we desire for that person to be happy and that we definitely want to contribute to that person's happiness, we are not responsible for that person's happiness?
Go ahead and repeat yourself, friend, because I just mhm.
um, yes, I love you. So I absolutely want you to be happy. And I
Yeah.
absolutely want to contribute that to that, right? I know you
Mhm.
love hot chocolate. So when I go to the store, I'm going to pick up hot chocolate, right?
Mhm.
I want to contribute to you feeling good. Um, but I am not responsible
Mhm.
for your happiness.
Mhm.
Um, oh, I love this comment.
I agree.
I think
Same.
that that phrase could be useful even in a work environment, right? I
Yeah.
think you talk about, Shah, I think you talk about a better me is a better we. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think
Mhm.
any community energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not responsible for your happiness. And a lot of times we, woo, on both ends, right?
Mhm.
When I have not fully engaged in my healing process, then I can project. I
Mhm.
can try to make you responsible for my happiness, right? I'm
Mhm.
not happy because you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you're not doing this, you should be doing this, you should have known better. You've been with me for 5 years, you should know, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all projection. That's all
Mhm.
projection.
Mhm.
That person is not responsible for my happiness.
Mhm.
And I am not responsible for their happiness,
Mhm.
right? There's a
Yeah.
difference between me contributing to and wanting, you know, being in that energy and feeling responsible for it, right?
Yeah. And that is oh man, that is why this phrase "you complete me," or if
Ooh,
you ask somebody why you like them, there's like because you make me happy. Okay, what happens in the moments when I don't make you happy? What do we do then? Do you like me still? Like yeah, we're not
and
responsible. Yeah.
you're so right. And the danger in that, right, is like if I'm saying you completely and you leave, then that makes me incomplete. And this is why when we experience breakups or that person leaves you or whatever, this is why we spiral down into suicidal behaviors and ideations and
Mhm.
all kinds of mental illnesses
Yep.
because we have decided that we are incomplete,
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
right? And when you make that decision, your psyche, your subconscious, your body is going to make that a reality.
Girl, when I've heard that said to me, and I was like, ah, that is more responsibility than I have to to provide. I can't do it for you. I can't be the completion for you. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
So I'm so glad you said that
Yeah,
because this is the other thing, right? When you're on that end and that person is trying to make you responsible for their happiness.
yeah.
Oh, somebody needs to hear this today.
Mm-hmm.
What you are doing is pushing that person away. You don't know it. You may not know it
Yeah,
because that person is really trying,
yeah.
right? They're really trying and they're in it right now. But what you are creating is an energy of resentment, right?
Mm-hmm.
An energy of overwhelm,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you are overloading this person's systems. That you they have taken on a role and you have given them a role that they were not created, built to take.
Yeah. Girl, I ran away so fast. I was like, I cannot do it. Because I know I got my own work, right? We all have our own stuff to do, and not to say that we cannot show up for other people. That is not what is being said. What we are
Right.
saying is just like make sure that you're filling up your own cup, and maybe there's some support that you could use, but that the other person is not responsible for the work that you get to do. Okay.
Ooh, you got to say that again. You got to say
Yes.
that again.
There, there is no other one person that is responsible for the work that you get to do for your elevation, for yourself. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm.
So good.
Ciao.
So, really, in a nutshell, to wrap this all up, right? Because we done it's 30-ish minutes. To wrap this all up, when they're feeling some kind of way about their elevation, or when you're feeling some kind of way,
That part too. Because it's not all about the other person. There's some, yep, go ahead. Yep.
what do we do? Some gems that I said we take that we were talking about here that we take away. Have the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. The conversation is key. Search in yourself,
Searching
do the
yourself.
work for yourself.
Do the work for yourself.
Understanding that the responsibility is not on anyone else to
Right.
have the work to do the work, and
Yeah.
also acknowledge if you are feeling, if you're on
Mm-hmm.
the opposite end, acknowledge that you are feeling a little left behind or
Oh yes.
insecure or a little
Yeah.
uncomfortable with the change that is being happening, that is happening. It's still part of the conversation. The conversation goes
Mm-hmm.
both ways. It's like, I am
Mm-hmm.
feeling left behind, I am feeling like XYZ. And then
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of the person who's elevating, I realize that I'm changing and I'm growing, and I don't know where this is going, or I may know where it's going, and I would love for you to come with me.
Yeah.
There's both sides of that conversation that get to be had depending on, where you're standing in that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then how do we elevate each other? How do we support each other where we are?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and keep shining.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
keep shining.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality is if you dim your light, it doesn't make that person shine any brighter,
Yeah.
right? That person has to shine from their own core
Mm-hmm.
light, their own core energy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
dimming your light does not help them or you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Nobody wins when you dim your light.
Right. Right.
No one wins.
Mm.
So you keep shining.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah, me too. All right, Marissa, where can they find you?
Okay, so y'all, I did a thing this week. You can find me on the purplekittyny.com, but I also launched my YouTube channel, Breathing with Marissa. I did not see the
Woo!
invitation for Black women breathing and doing breath work. There were a few here and there alongside their like yoga practices or their vlogs or something like that, but there was no channels dedicated to Black women and breath work.
Mm.
So Breathing with Marissa, at Marissa with a C on YouTube. And yeah, that is and if you're in the New Orleans area, I will be vending at a beautiful event on April the 2nd called Serenity. And we will be
Mm.
doing some live breath work, one-on-one group demonstrations, and just chatting. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Every time you say that, I'm like, I still wish I was in New Orleans. For many reasons, but definitely for that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
you?
I think, and for me, of course, you can find me on latoyazavala.com. Don't forget to check out the podcast. Been having some really fire guests there.
Mhm.
Some clips from our lives here. So Freed and Powered Up. It's available on Spotify and Apple. Definitely get there, subscribe, share, because you know that you know a woman who needs this power and this
Mhm.
juiciness, right? So share and definitely maybe it will be your first time doing a Reiki session. If that's the case, I offer you a free energy body reading. And what we do is we go in and we just allow for your body to tell us where is the energy stuck. I'll tell you where the energy is stuck, and I'll tell you exactly what that represents and what that might be meaning. And then we can decide from there what's the next step in your healing process. But definitely intuitive energy healing and reading and EFT tapping.
Yes.
So it doesn't hurt you to get a free energy body reading. It doesn't hurt you at all. Can only enhance you and elevate you. So you can find me, message me, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can book it actually latoyazavala.com. So that's that.
Okay.
That's that. So it has been wonderful. Thank you
Mhm.
all for hanging with us, whether you were live or hashtag replay. We know that we love you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. There was a question.
I
Should we
think that's
answer
a
before we
big
go?
conversation for me. I don't know about you, but that's a big conversation for me.
You know what? It is a big conversation. It's definitely a part of this conversation.
Hmm.
Chris, let me just ask you. I know I'm going to ask you live, but there's one more week in. Is there? What's
Yeah,
today? Yeah, there's one more week in March.
March
There's
has
the
a lot of weeks.
31st.
Okay.
March is giving us all the time and space.
Hmm.
What do you think about doing that on the 31st?
I mean, we could do it.
Let's do it.
Hmm.
Cheryl, we love you too. Mwah, mwah, you know we do. And
Thank
you
you
just
for
gave us
that.
our next topic for next Friday.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do. What about submission?
Hmm.
Woo! That's big. It's big. I think that that's actually like a part two. I think it's definitely interlinked. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't wait. Cheryl, thank you so much. It's gonna be good.
Hmm.
It's gonna be good. And we're gonna bring all the controversy, all of it, all of it. Because that's how we elevate and that's how we heal.
Absolutely.
That's how we heal.
Hmm.
Okay. This is good. All right, Marissa.
Y'all go
Thank
forth
you.
and have a beautiful weekend,
Have a
everybody.
beautiful and powerful weekend. Sending you so much love and power, everybody.